We'll see.
Yeah.
Mitch has the new assistant coach.
That's right. Blast from the past, too.
Yeah. I think that's big. That's huge. I think that's we could get into it later, but that's a vote of hey, Mike, you can make your own staff.
Mike, you've gone on to say, you picked OKC in 5, right? OKC in 5. I don't think that's going to happen now, but I'm going to tell you, teams that have go up 2-1 in the NBA Finals go on to win the whole damn thing 81% of the time.
That is true, but what happens if it goes 2-2 and Oklahoma City takes back home court advantage? That's the thing.
Then they put themselves in.
The odds go back into their favor. So really, it's about tonight, right?
If they can get it done tonight. That's it. G done. I said Pacers.
It's been a good series. It's been a very good series.
Good series. Pacers in 6. What's up, Tex-Mex Frank, man? Tex-Mex Frank, man, he's just making some good gear, dude. Some awesome gear, man. He's got another post up right now saying that he's going to have a giveaway, so we're going to mention that during the show, man. If you need your Texican gear, like the nice hat that I was wearing yesterday, go ahead and hit up my boy, Tex-Mex Frank. Good morning, Sam Salinas. Jonathan Pettis. He says, he was the one asking me, Joe, where can I get a hat like the one that I had on yesterday? You know what, Jonathan? I'm going to go ahead and send you the other Texican hat that we have here. Since you asked,
Joe,
contact me.
Can people see the screen? Because I'm getting text messages saying that it's only a black screen.
They should be able to see the screen.
Tex-Mex Frank, let us know. Can you see my screen?
I'll check. Let's see. I can see the screen on the YouTube channel.
Welcome to another episode of the Area 210 podcast with Mike Jimenez and Joe Garcia. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Join the discussion as we broadcast to you live from beautiful West San Antonio. And remember to tip your hosts as it helps the show grow.
What's up, San Antonio? What's going on, South Texas? This is the Area 210 podcast coming at you. You see 3 faces out there. It is Friday, Joe. We don't give a damn on Fridays. Joined by Spurnandez, retired United States Marine Corps in San Diego, California. Joe Garcia is in San Antonio. I'm hanging out in Conroe, Texas. Fellas, what's going on?
Hey, I'm good, man. How are you, Rick?
I'm good, bro. We're coming from the 3 corners. You know what I'm saying? We're hitting the triangle. We're hitting the Houston area, the beautiful San Antonio, and then all the way west, baby, San Diego. But we're all Puto at heart, though. That's what it is. Hey, I got my Father's Day weekend shirt. Shout out to all the badass Spurs dads out there, to include you two gentlemen and all the other ones out there, man. That's what I'm representing that for this weekend, baby.
That's right. You know, my dad, we asked my dad, what does he want to do for Father's Day, right? My dad, what is he now, 82, 83 years old? We asked him, what do you want to do? And he goes, it's not the same as Mother's Day. Which is true. Why does Father's Day suck compared to Mother's Day?
Bro, because that's how it is. I mean, that's how it is in general. Like, everybody is the mom, and we love mom, and hey, Tupac didn't sing Dear Papa. You know what I'm saying? Tupac didn't sing Dear Papa. So but it is, bro. It's like the hangover of after Mother's Day, right? It's like we get the leftovers and we just want to chill. Or fathers end up still working on Father's Day, grilling. You know what I mean? Cooking, doing your thing. Like we do what we do. But you know why though? Because hey, man, we're the backbone of the heart of the family, dog. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do, right? We kill the big spiders. And we, grill, so.
Hey, I was going to show you all something here. I didn't know if you all noticed this, but on the chat, I just saw this. YouTube has given us a leaderboard. So it shows us the leaderbood of, how nice. I guess involved everybody is by commenting and whatnot. And it's showing the number ones.
Oh, is that what the little crowns at the number 1? And
yeah,
number 2?
man.
Oh, wow.
Cool. So number 1 is Jonathan Pettis. Number 2 is Sam Salinas. And number 3 is Tex-Mex Frank. That's the leaderboard really cool. for you, man.
That's really cool. I like that.
So I just thought I'd share that with everybody. Not just to only show the chat on here, but show you guys where you stack up on the leaderboard. And we have another leaderboard too that we'll show because we have things we got to give away, Mike.
Yeah, we've been holding back for a while, man. I think we were trying to get some away at your birthday party, but we got too trashed to give them away.
That's the way it usually goes.
Yeah.
But we have gift cards, we have bobbleheads, we've got stickers, we've got all sorts of things. We'll figure something out when it comes to all that. By the way, thank you for MCS General Contracting for powering the chat. You can see on the right-hand side, Chris Gonzalez, Sam Salinas, JHNSB, Paul Four, Matt Gomez, Sith, who's coming off his first podcast. Yeah, I watched it in the shower. You know, I got to be honest with you. I was
Hey.
Jeez,
what do you mean? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
I watched.
Well, you know, come on, we all take our phone in the shower, right?
No, bro.
Spotify.
No,
Joe, you don't take your phone into the shower.
Not at all. I got a Bluetooth speaker. I put up on the countertop. I put on the jams and I go in the shower, bro. I don't.
How else do you TikTok, baby? How else do you TikTok?
Oh man, I'm in the shower. I'm in the shower, bro. I ain't doing that.
Now I know what I need to get Mike for his birthday or Christmas. There's those. I've seen these things on Instagram where it's like a little encased thing where you put your phone in the and it sticks to the shower. You know.
Yeah,
like
Mike will be the dude.
So you can, and it closes, right? So you can, have it. It's like a suction.
Yes, exactly.
Mike will be the guy though. He'll be like Unc, man. He'll be like Unc and go live in the shower, dude, without knowing.
Oh, come on!
Hey, it's a little cold in there. It's a little cold in that shower. I was in the pool. There's shrinkage. George Costanza.
Hey, we got an incoming super chat right now from Matt Lerma.
Here comes the money.
Matt Lerma saying Pacers going up 3-1 tonight. Thank you, Matt Lerma. Appreciate the support, man.
Well, we can all agree whoever wins the game tonight is going to be the NBA champion, right? I mean, it's going to be hard for OKC to win 3 in a row, and it's the inexperience. OKC's the better team, better talent, but it's the experience that is showing right now, which is why the Spurs will struggle the first year or two that we're in the playoffs unless we do get a Kevin Durant, unless we do get a big name player. But we have a lot to get into. We're going to get into the NBA Finals today. We're going to talk about the Spurs and all the BS rumors that have been swirling around that number 2 pick, because you hear these rumors about, well, hey, New Orleans is wanting to kick the tires. Can they move up to 2? Philadelphia, can they move up to 2? Would the Spurs entertain the idea? Would we want it as a Spurs fan for the Spurs to fall back into the draft? Also, the craziness happening over at UTSA Circle right now. Pat Hallmark, who is the coach, the manager of the UTSA baseball team that led them to the Super Regionals, he's apparently a free agent right now, a year ahead of his time. The weird story about how a typo has affected UTSA baseball and potentially the future of that program, because that dude is now a free agent on the market when he should be under contract. A typo has gotten him out of his deal. We'll get into that as well. We'll talk pop culture. We'll talk about Father's Day and whatnot along the way. Joined by Spurnandez and Joe Garcia. Spurnandez, you are today's guest. It is Friday, and what, Joe? On Fridays, we what?
Like Mario Cavasso says down here, it's Friday, and we don't give a damn.
That's right, baby. We don't give a damn.
Let me go ahead and play the thing.
I don't give a damn.
So let's talk about it. Let's talk about. I'll let Spurnandez pick the topic first. You want to talk about Spurs?
I think
Pat Hallmark of UTSA.
Yeah, I think the UTSA thing is interesting. I didn't read too much of it, but I did see something about how some type of typo kind of messed up with his contract where he was supposed to be through next year or something like that.
Yeah, so it was announced that he was going to have a 4-year extension back in 2022 to get him through the 2026 season, right? So he should have 1 year left on his deal.
Yeah.
But it technically expired on June 1 of this year because somewhere in the contract, which was saying 2026, 4-year deal, there was one point in the contract that said 2025. And the University of Texas at San Antonio signed it. Pat Hallmark signed it, and he's showing the paperwork going, it says right here, you all signed off that 2025, I am a free agent. This program has gotten better and better and better over the years. This year knocked out the Texas Longhorns at UT 3 times, including twice in the playoffs, made the Super Regionals, were 2 wins away from making it to the College World Series. They got knocked out by UCLA last weekend. But now Pat Hallmark is a free agent. You're telling me that there aren't programs out there nationwide who who are not looking at this guy and going, man, if he can take a 47-win team in UTSA, take them to 47 wins, get them on the cusp of the College World Series, beat the number 2 team in the nation 3 times on the road in a matter of 6 weeks. He's got to be entertaining offers at this point, right? And now what he's doing is he's throwing fire at UTSA going, hey, I want to stay, ... but our facilities suck. And Joe and I have argued about this and debated about how we've gone to UTSA baseball games over there at UTSA on campus. It's a Little League field. I mean, it is a Little League field. Holmes High School plays on a better field, on a better stadium than UTSA. And he's saying, if you want to keep me, great. Give me better facilities. Should UTSA pay more attention to the baseball team compared to what they have in the past?
Rick, I'm going to say it like this, man. It's Peace Middle School quality, man.
Man, that's rough. That's
it's
rough.
Marbach nice, Rick. It's Marbach.
That was when Pease was the Apaches, bro. You know, they're the Bulldogs now.
Bulldogs now.
Because of publicly correct.
Hey, we got an incoming super chat I want to get to real quick here because it's from our boy Elias here. Thank you, Elias. We appreciate you.
Here comes the money.
He's just wishing us a happy Father's Day. He says, "Happy Father's Day, mi gente. God is good. Appreciate you, Sith.
Right.
Again, congratulations on your debut episode of Let's Talk Sith. You know, I appreciate you. So we're gonna go ahead and give you some love here, man.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, man. Like I said, that's why I'm rocking the first Father's Day shirt. My oldest son and his girlfriend got me this shirt, and it's representing all the fathers out there, man. All the love for everybody. But like you said, Mike, they're coming off a cusp of the greatest season ever in UTSA baseball, maybe UTSA sports, period. Because I mean, that's a big deal. Right, UTSA, and no, this is not a shot at football, nobody, but for the UTSA baseball team to knock off the very highly touted Longhorns, you know, my alma mater, hey man, that was a huge deal in Austin. You know, in Austin, like it doesn't get any better than that for UTSA. And then to go to UCLA, out to LA, you saw the difference, you know, again in the levels, but they were there, man. They were competing. They didn't you know, they were up 2-0 in that very first game, right? So they battled, bro. They battled. UCLA is another famed program, right? So it's ironic and interesting that coming off of that, we have this like controversy of the contract. So my man's got all the leverage, you know, he's got the leverage because, like you said, big program's going to be calling. Big program's going to be calling. And it'd be a shame for UTSA after having such a monumental sports season to lose out on that coach, man. So, but it could spark the necessity of the better facilities, you know, and
Spurnandez, it is something that is odd when you and I agree and are speaking the same language, because I said this to a friend the other day. I didn't say it on the podcast, but I asked the question, is this the greatest UTSA sports run ever? Now, I know that they've had people who've done well in track and field, but with all due respect, who cares? Okay. It's the team sports that matter. And I know that we've seen UTSA basketball make it to the big dance. We've seen UTSA women's basketball make it to the big dance on the women's side as well. But the equivalent was the Sweet 16 in basketball. For the basketball program to do what UTSA baseball did was to go in there and make the Sweet 16. The football equivalent is making like the Peach Bowl or making like the Sugar Bowl or Rose Bowl.
Insane. It'd be crazy. It'd be Mm-hmm.
So now I kind of mockingly joke, is UTSA really a baseball school now? Because they were a good team the year before and a decent team the year before that. That program's getting better, and better. And Spurnandez, I don't know if you've been on UTSA's campus to look at their baseball facilities. I am not joking when I say that Northside ISD has a better basketball facility and a better baseball facility compared to UTSA. I have seen Little League programs. You go to McAllister Park on 281 area, and you look at their facilities for Little League, it is better than UTSA, which is in the American Athletic Conference, taking on. Dude, can you imagine if UC Irvine had beat UCLA and they had to play that game in the Super Regional at UTSA with no stands. Only about 300 people can sit down. But
Yeah.
UTSA,
You know,
it's one of those things, Spurnandez. I kind of say San Antonio is a poor city. Is UTSA a poor school?
well, and all jokes aside, and here's the thing, man, and this is and full disclosure, I'm not a UTSA guy. I'm not. And I went to the University of Texas. I'm a Longhorn through and through, all that. But I'm a San Antonio guy, right? So to me, we talk about obviously how important the Spurs are, right? And people talk about Project Marvel, and I'm gonna come back to it, Mike, but just hear me out. People talk about how Project Marvel is important to the Spurs, and what if they leave our city, blah blah blah, and all that, and that is important. UTSA is starting to become. I'm not gonna say as important as the Spurs, but what I'm saying is that program growing all the different sports, baseball, softball, basketball, football, all that, it's becoming very, very important to San Antonio, as in like this is our stand, this is our community, this is what we stand for. And I know there's a super chat that you're gonna get to. It's like a $10 chat by Sam Salinas, and he's this is very important actually. He's talking about the problem with UTSA is there is a lot of UT fans or T-shirt fans or whatever you want to call them that are just again. I'm a UT grad, right? I went to UT through the University of or through the ROTC program through the Marine Corps. I was blessed to go there. I would never have been able to go to UT. I wouldn't have been able to afford it. Didn't have the grades for it, but I was able to go through after 6 years and 3 deployments to the Marine Corps. I was able to go. So, and I'm not trying to talk about me. Point I'm trying to make is UTSA. There's it's not some community college. It's not some low rent place. I mean, stack it up to UCLA in different places, of course, but they're gaining momentum, man. Like and that's great for the city. I think it's extremely important for UTSA to keep the trajectory it's going for the city of San Antonio, right? And I mean that probably sounds like common sense, like no shit. I'm not breaking news. I'm just saying like it's very, very important to the fabric of this community. For UTSA to get those better facilities, to get the publicity, to get the crowd, the fans behind them. So it's going there, man. And again, the football team is making strides. The baseball team is amazing. So it's great for the city, and I'm telling you, it's becoming as important as the Spurs. And I'm not trying to sound blasphemous. I'm just saying that's just another thing that we could sit here and say, hey, we hang our hat on UTSA, right?
Right.
You're here in San Antonio. It brings in a lot, and it's going to bring in the moment they start bringing in, recruits from other, Cali and hell, I would love for my son to come play UTSA basketball when he graduates next year. Like why not? Why not UTSA? You see all these schools in like March Madness who are small schools and small programs that blow up after going to the Sweet 16 or stuff like that. So I think it's great for the community that UTSA is on the trajectory that they are.
We got an incoming chat here from James
Salinas
Pledger.
one.
Yeah, we got one from James Pledger. They need it, but how? If they're struggling to get football facilities, how do the other sports keep up? So we're gonna go ahead and show the super chat, and after we show this one, we have 2 more that we need to get to. So we're gonna show the one from Sam Salinas right now.
Money talk. Here comes the money.
There you go, Mike.
Yeah, it says that's the issue with UTSA. No offense to Rick, because you have a legit tie, but UT is the problem. Too many T-shirt fans in SA, and absolutely no ties to UT support local. Well, part of it is the fact that UTSA did not have really big athletics until about 15 years ago.
Exactly.
I graduated from UTSA in 2001, and we used to buy T-shirts at the university gift shop that said football team is still undefeated, right? UTSA football is still undefeated because it didn't exist.
They have a team. Yeah.
So it took a while. So the football program is about 15 years old or so, and it has progressed in a good way under head coach Traylor. But at some point, it becomes a generational thing.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by a generational thing is that people have grown up cheering for either UT or Texas A&M. Those are the 2 big schools in the state of Texas, right? I mean, 90% of us go over them, and there'll be people who cheer for Tech or for Baylor. I get that, right? But really, by and large, it is UT or A&M, and UT is big brother of the 2. It's going to take literally generations of tradition to make this happen.
Mhm.
If my New Orleans Saints had been the San Antonio Saints, there still would have been more Cowboy fans than New Orleans Saints fans. It would have taken years for the Saints to have called San Antonio home and for this to be a Saints city, right?
Mhm.
So it takes a while to make that happen. But my question for you about this, Rick, is that we know that they need better facilities, but they've got 35,000 students, Joe. They've got 35,000 students, Rick. This isn't a university like Trinity that has like 10,000 students or less, or Incarnate Word that has 6,000 students. They've got 35,000 students there. Half of them live there, half of them are commuters. But they've got 35,000 students, which means 35,000 people are paying tuition.
Mhm.
You can't tell me that there's no money going into that place. It's whether or not that school wants it to go there. Now, the problem that you have, Joe, the problem that you have, Rick, is I'm looking at this baseball schedule that UTSA had. UTSA had 47 wins, right? Here's the sad part of it all. UTSA football and UTSA baseball, UTSA basketball, none of the good big schools ever come here to play. They don't.
Yeah.
When we play UT, is it at DKR or is it the Alamo Dome? It's at DKR every single time. When we play UT baseball, is it there at UT or is it at UTSA? It is over there. And I'm looking at the look at the teams that played at UTSA this year, baseball-wise. Long Island University played a 3-game set. Houston Christian, Oakland, Youngstown State. But when they played A&M, it was at College Station. Beat A&M at College Station, by the way, 7-4. Sure. But they came back over here, played Texas Southern. 3 games in a row. Played Incarnate Word. When they played 20th ranked Dallas Baptist, was it here? It was over there.
Yeah.
I keep going through the schedule. They played at UT. Now they have their conference games here, but no one gets excited about Charlotte. No one gets excited about Florida Atlantic. Nobody gets excited about TCU or UAB. We don't have any of the good games come to San Antonio, and that is the tragedy of it all. And it's kind of hard for us to get excited as fans because, yeah, we beat UT. Yeah, we beat all these other teams, A&M, but it wasn't here. We have to travel to see this team. That's the bad part. Now, let me ask you this, Rick. We do realize that there was a typo involved in this whole situation for Pat Hallmark, right?
Yeah.
But is it Bush League for him to know that he signed a 4-year deal and for him to show that, hey, man, in 30 different places on this contract, it says 2026, but in one area, it says 2025.
Yeah, we got 2 more super chats we need to get to, Mike. So
in a second, but let me ask this question real fast. If it says in 30 different areas 2026 and in one area 2025, and you know that you signed a 4-year deal, for you to exercise that and say, hey, typo, doesn't that make him a dick?
Yeah, like be a man of your word, bro. You know what I mean? Come on, bro. You know what it was. You signed it. You know what it is. Like this is like a technicality. This is like, I committed murder, but the clerk didn't filed the paperwork wrong. So now I got off, you know what I mean? Like it's I think he'd gain a lot of respect if he just say, you know what? I'm gonna honor the contract that I really did sign, even though there was a typo in there. I know Joe wants to get to super chat, so I don't want to, but I do have some comments that I want to make about the whole UTSA thing. But it's just, I mean, winning cures all. Like you said, if they go to A&M and win, they just got to keep winning. If they keep winning, and I like the point that you made, Mike, about the generational thing, because again, 15 years of a program is infancy compared to UT, A&M, Tech, UCLA, like all that. So, like you said, what UTSA needs is alumni to go off and do great things and come back and be like, hey, I'm giving back to the community. Hey, Spurs should be promoting UTSA more. I mean, you know what I mean? Like Spurs, I know Spurs have a connection when they do the UT stuff, where they go to Austin and they play. Like, why not have the Spurs organization push UTSA more? You know what I mean? Have a UTSA night. I don't know. You know what I mean? They need the backing, bro. Like you said, man. It's in its infancy, and I don't think it's a bad thing. 15 years and where they're at in 15 years is actually pretty damn good. You know, so it's just a matter of again, like you said, legacies and generations going to UTSA, keeping everything us like, hey, UTSA isn't. Somebody said in there that UTSA used to be known as the school that you went to if you couldn't afford UT or something like that. You got to get away from that mindset. You know what I mean? We got to get away from UTSA is like a secondary place to go. Like, look, I was born and raised in San Antonio. I was a standout athlete. Let me go to UTSA. That's the thing. These young up and coming athletes, instead of going to UT, instead of going to A&M, if you're from San Antonio, why not say, hey, I wanna build at UTSA. You know what I mean? Like, I want to put this place on the map. So it's a lot, man. There's a lot to it, but I think they're on the right trajectory, though. I really do.
Yeah, Sam Salinas reaching out to us on our YouTube stream. Our chat powered by MCS General Contracting saying, holy crap, Rick, spot on. It didn't help to have Spurs players at the UTSA game wearing burnt orange.
Yeah,
That's
man.
fact.
Yeah, I mean, it's fat. And again, I'm a Longhorn, and I love it, but I do see you know, it's like UTSA is just like the small fish. It's like the little engine that could. They're trying, but it doesn't help when the Spurs, who are the biggest, thing in San Antonio, are kind of pushing towards UT whenever there's a UT versus UTSA game, right? So, hey, man, bite the bullet. Wear the UTSA stuff. If the Spurs came out and rocked UTSA gear and were about it, people would be like, "Oh, hell yeah!" It's a stamp of approval. It's like a politician getting a nod from the former president or whoever, right? It's in every sport and every facet of life. There's a certain person that's made it that kind of gives you. It's like you've been made. You know what I mean? You're a made man. So the UTSA needs the backing from the Spurs. I mean, with UTSA merging with UT, and I know it's the Health Science Center and all that kind of stuff, that's not a bad thing. UT should do a better job of promoting UTSA. Why not? Like you're like UT shouldn't feel threatened by UTSA, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. What I mean is they should be bringing them up like Big Brother. You know what I mean? Like, if you're UT, you've already stamped your legacy as UT. You know what I mean? Like UT's UT. Like, it's why not bring up UTSA more? You know what I mean? Why not pump them up and kind of give them that stamp of approval of, hey,
Right.
we're Longhorns and we're Austin, but if you're in San Antonio, UTSA is our guy.
What's interesting, Pledger points out, he says, you go out to other schools because of notoriety, facilities, NIL, and literally any other reason. The fact that UTSA baseball was able to beat teams that go into the transfer portal or have the NIL money that UT has, and UTSA's players were JUCO transfers. There were studs in JUCO that they brought up. So it was kind of weird. It was like a 5-star athletes losing to 3-star athletes, 2 or 3-star athletes along the way. Found that to be interesting. Joe, what are the super chats we missed out on?
Yeah, so we got a super chat incoming here from Tex Mex Frank.
Here comes the money.
So he went ahead and said, "Happy Father." He says, "Happy Friday, and God bless cows for giving us briskets." He says, "Grito." So
hey, no lies detected right there, man. Thank you so much, Tex Mex Frank.
Yeah.
Brisket is where it's at, man. But there's, oh my God. Whenever you get, there's lean or moist, right? I don't, I mean.
Well, he was bad-mouthing Bill Miller's barbecue the other day, Rick. He said it was no good.
Marble. The moist brisket is called marble. So there's lean brisket and there's marble.
Moist.
No, marble. No, marble. That's the correct term. If you walk into Bill Miller and say, "I want moist brisket," they're gonna walk you out for being inappropriate, Mike. So I'm just trying to save you some headache. There's some. Bill Miller's known for hiring some pretty good-looking women at their counter. So if you walk up there and say, "I want moist brisket," They might walk you out in handcuffs. I'm just saying. So, and you might be banned from Bill Miller, but I got you. I
Hey,
hear you.
let's play the grito for Tex-Mex Frank since you paid for it.
¡Viva México, cabrones!
Whatever you do, don't say that in downtown San Antonio while ICE is going through. But
Oh, man, bro.
joined by
Man.
Spurnandez and Joe Garcia.
We got another super chat incoming.
Oh,
here
what
that
we
gotta get
got?
to. We got two more actually. This one
Keep 'em
and one
coming.
more.
Keep 'em coming.
Here comes the money.
And this is from Jason Garcia. He says, "Happy Father's Day to all. I don't give a damn in the Pacific Northwest," because he's over there in the beautiful state of Portland, Oregon. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Tex-Mex Frank.
you so
Thanks
much.
to everyone who's sending us some super chats. And we got another super chat we got to get to here. And this one is coming way of another viewer here. I thought we had another one. Oh, no, it was somebody that subscribed. So my
Very
bad.
nice. We're inching closer to 2,500 subscribers, man. We're going to get there pretty soon. One story we didn't talk about, but I just remembered. If I had told you that there was a former NFL star wanted for attempted murder this morning, and I had to say, bet your life on who it's going to be, we all would have said Antonio Brown, right?
Yeah.
Antonio Brown wanted for attempted murder for an incident that happened after a Miami boxing match in May.
This dude's straight up nuts, Mike. He needs to be committed or something, dude. He's a menace. Yeah. And this was way of TMZ, so I'll go ahead and show it to you guys.
I mean, he's out banging politicians' wives.
Dude, this dude's straight up nuts, man. So apparently they have video of him per TMZ here of him actually fighting with the security guard, taking away his weapon, and then firing off 2 shots. And he got so close to killing somebody, an innocent bystander, the bullet grazed his neck.
Wow.
I mean, and they got video of him, and they said they let him go. I'm like, why?
Now, we know that when Antonio Brown dies, they're going to cut open his brain, and they're going to realize that he has CTE up the ass, okay?
Right.
This is what it is, because a lot of these players that you look at and you think to yourself, they're just flamboyant. They're just out there. They're opinionated and all that stuff. No. They're jacked in the head from playing football for so long. We saw that with Aaron Hernandez, and now we're seeing that with Antonio Brown. They're screwed in the head. They really are, which is why probably the smartest person in football the last 10 years was Andrew Luck, who was like 30 years old. Done. I'm done.
Yeah.
But
it's a tough sport, man, and it's your brain isn't meant to be banged around like that. And the same thing is said for boxing, right? I mean, you could go around boxing and see a lot of fighters, obviously, and there's no helmet. I mean, you're getting punched in the head. Your brain isn't meant to be rattled that way, and you could love him and hate him. But Floyd Mayweather was kind of like the Andrew Luck situation, where he said, I'm not going to be standing there getting hit in the head and risk my life and not be able to see my grandkids. I'm going to box. I'm going to move. I got it. I know. And I'm just trying to give an example of, and it sucks for as a fan for entertainment value. I understand that, right? You pay a lot of money to watch a pay-per-view fight. Floyd is dancing and jabbing and moving, and only boxing nerds like me enjoy that. But when you think of it in the totality of, that's what he was talking about. He didn't want to be brain dead at the end of his career, man. He wanted to be smart about what he did. So hey, man, you got to kind of give him that credit, man. And
what's that thing that they do now, Rick? They have, if you look at let's say combat sports in general, whether it's UFC, bare knuckle, Muay Thai, boxing, it's like they give their let's say their athletes more time to recover now. In the past, you would go from one fight, then it was like 6 to 8 weeks, and boom, you have another matchup, another match. They can't do that nowadays because now they found out the body needs time to recover because of the CTE. You kind of, if you want to see these fighters fighting in their prime and putting on some good matches, their body and the mind have to be right. They got to get their mind right, like my sister-in-law always says. Because if not, man, they're gonna go the way of Antonio Brown. Hey, you know what? I think what's his name? Ryan Garcia, dude, might be suffering from some of that. He's been fighting a long time, bro, and he ain't right, man.
Yeah. It's just like I said, man, and I've been in the ring, and not to the level of those guys. I was, amateurs, but still, man, you get in the ring, man. Your head isn't meant to be rattled that way.
No.
It's just you take those blows of the head, boom, 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 man, and and it sucks, and it's crazy because it's for our entertainment. Where
Right.
they get in there for our entertainment, we pay, and it's a tough world, and it's also but and then on the flip side is you know that's what you asked for. You signed up for that. You know what I mean? So it's tough, man. Like it's hard. And it's like celebrities, who complain about, oh man, I never, I can't go, I can't walk the street without getting bothered for a picture and autograph. Well, you signed up for that, and you make
Yeah.
millions off of that. You know what I mean? Like no, there's a there,
If it
there
wasn't
there's
for the
a
fans, they wouldn't be in that position.
Sure. There's a line, and folks that know me have seen that I've been blessed to be able to like take a bunch of pictures with players and different celebrities and all that. And one thing I have learned is there's a time and a place. If you see a celebrity sitting down having dinner with his family, like
Yeah.
don't go over to them and bother them, obviously, but if they're walking in just the street or a lobby or whatever, there's an art to it, I guess is what I'm saying.
You're in
But
a public setting at that point.
Sure.
Yeah.
But again, for celebrities to say, "Hey, I hate that people bother me," but yeah, you make millions and millions of dollars by those fans. It's a catch-22. It's like
Comes
when I
with
was in the
territory.
yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
like when I was in the Marine Corps. I used to tell my Marines this. I would tell my Marines like, "Hey, listen, Marines love like, hey, I wear my dress blues and my uniform, and everybody respects me, and everybody, buys me drinks, and they love that part of it. But what they don't like is waking up at 5 a.m. to go run, cleaning toilets when you're a private, all the stuff that you don't like. It comes with the territory. Like you don't get to the big dog status without starting at the bottom, So I
Right.
would tell my Marines, I would give my Marines the analogy of it's like being a celebrity where you can't say you don't like being bothered because I'll tell you what, if you're a celebrity and people don't recognize you, you failed. You know what I mean? Like you've literally like that, like your
Yeah.
whole point in life is to be recognized as a celebrity. So if people walk by you and don't care about you, you're not where you want to be. You know what I'm
Now,
saying? So
does Spurnandez, Joe? I wonder if Spurnandez gets recognized when he goes to the Frost Bank Center.
Absolutely.
Because he is royalty. He and Steph.
oh
How can you not
royalty.
recognize him? He's going to be stacking the cups, bro.
oh man.
And then he does them when we win, we bounce.
It's
He's almost
yeah,
on the
it's
Jumbotron.
it's
on.
it's minor status. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
act big time, but you know what? I no, you know what's I have, and it's I've been blessed to where like I've been games like in Sacramento, LA, and or at Frostbank, of course, and people are like, oh my god, you're Spurnandez, whatever, and it's cool. I love it, and I'm not trying to act like I'm somebody big time, but I like if somebody says, hey man, I want to take a picture with you or whatever, like fuck yeah, dude, let's do
Yeah.
it. Like why not, bro? That's if no one gives a shit about you, then like damn, you kind of like
You're not
holy
big
crap,
time
you
in
know.
nobody. You're not big
No,
time in nobody.
I'm definitely not big timing nobody. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. I'm not big timing anybody, but it's all good, man. It's all love, man. It's pretty awesome. And I've seen people that I've known from Twitter and be like, oh shit, you're so and so. Like hell yeah, bro. Like
Yeah.
it's all love, man. It's
Yeah,
all
we
love.
got an
We're
incoming
gonna-
super chat from Matt Lerma that we got to address here, and it might be a good segue for the next segment here.
Money talk.
Yeah.
Here comes the money.
So, Matt Lerma, thank you so much for that super chat. We do appreciate every single one of you guys and your super chats and all the comments that are coming in. This show is not possible without everybody watching and interacting with us. We greatly appreciate it. But Matt is saying Corliss Williamson is the new Spurs assistant coach. He was handpicked by Mitch Johnson, and that news broke earlier today. So thank you for
Now-
that, Matt.
Now, here's the thing. Coach Popovich famously said, I want to see some what?
I want to see some nasty.
Nasty.
And what is Corliss Williamson's nickname?
Big
The
nasty.
Big Nasty. Dude, we're old school for knowing this stuff, by the way.
I know.
Big Nasty played for
Yeah.
Arkansas in the early to mid 90s. He was a first round draft pick, played for 4 NBA teams. Has been
Pistons,
assistant coach.
Sixers, Kings. you know?
That's a fun name to it's a throwback name. But the Big Nasty coming to San Antonio
Look
as
at
far
this,
as Mitch
Mike.
Johnson's team.
Every time we have these phrases coming in, because we say something and then the listeners pick up on it. Mario
Yeah.
Cavazos is saying, An Area 210 t-shirt idea. He says, I like my brisket throbbing and moist. Please.
Throbbing. Yeah, I sent you that photo that my nephew sent of it was like a double dribble NBA Jam kind of guy.
Nice.
He sends this in a chat that we're part of, and he's like, "Oh, look, he's throbbing. This is great." And I'm like, "It looks great, but can we not use a Rockets player in the?"
Oh, was it? Oh, I don't know. I'm not the one who made it. But by the way, we were talking about how the Dan Patrick Show has the phrase "sneaky athletic," right? That was not the phrase that we used over here.
No,
it was deceptively athletic. So it's different.
We can change it. We can change it and put I'm sneaky athletic.
I like sneaky athletic better, but yeah. Hey, going back to Matt Lerma's chat. You know, and I'm not trying to overblow this, but I think this is kind of a sneaky, low-key, big deal that Mitch is getting to put his own staff together. You know, because again, we all everybody knows the story. Mitch took over for Pop when he went down for medical, issues. The word is Pop's pulling the strings. And there's people out there who just will want to point any negativity towards Pop in the front office or whatever, like anything they can do. It's like the social media team on Twitter did something wrong. It's Pop and RC's fault, like right. Everything. So to me, this is a sign, a small but pretty important sign that Mitch, you're not just assigned these assistant coaches, and nothing against Brett Brown, Matt Nielsen, the folks that are the current assistants. Nothing against them, but one thing I think that an interim coach, assumes the staff that's there, and you go about your day. Once they said, "Hey, you're the head coach, you are the guy." If you just have to continue to follow somebody else's path and program, whatever, I mean, are you really the guy, right, Mike? Like, you know what I mean? Like, right. Are you really the guy? Like, honestly, let's be real here. Now, this to me is a sign of wow, Mitch is bringing in a guy that he wants to be part of his staff. So someone's going to either leave or take a lesser role in that staff. It's just, to me, it's a nod that it's not a puppet of Pop, or people were saying that Mitch was just going to be another Pop puppet and nothing's going to change. This is kind of like a shift saying, hey, Mitch, you can bring in your staff. You can, because that's what a head coach needs. Mitch needs to be able to bring his own staff in, have a full off season. Then let's see what the kid has as a coach. What do you think, Mike? I mean,
and look at this, Mike, real quick. You can see Corliss Williamson in silver and black, kind of, wearing that jersey. Maybe what's he look like in a Spurs uniform there?
Yeah, I'm looking back at Corliss Williamson, and you hear the name, and you go back in time and think to yourself, man, I remember that guy. He played for Arkansas back in the day, and that was fun times, right? But the bona fides that this guy has, NBA champion. He was Sixth Man of the Year in 2002.
Hell yeah.
NCAA champion in 1994. He was the most outstanding player in the 1994 Final Four. Two-time consensus second-team All-American, SEC Male Athlete of the Year, two-time SEC Player of the Year, Gatorade Player of the Year twice, or actually once in 1992. He was an All-American as well. As a coach, so he played for Sacramento, who was drafted in Sacramento in the first round. He was a lottery player. Played for Toronto, played for the Pistons, won a championship with the Pistons in 2004. Played for the Sixers and the Kings, went back to the Kings. As a head coach, immediately after retiring, became an assistant head coach at Arkansas Baptist. 3 years later, became their head coach for one season. Then he became the head coach at Central Arkansas for a few seasons. Made his way back over to the Sacramento Kings as an assistant coach for 3 years. Was an assistant coach for Orlando Magic for a few years. Then to the Phoenix Suns for a year. And then most recently, the Minnesota Timberwolves. The guy has respectable credentials.
Yes.
And for Mitch Johnson to look at him and go, we need to add him to the staff, because not only that, 6'7", he had some size. He commands some respect.
I'm showing some of the information from his Wikipedia page, and I did highlight his nickname there. His nickname is the Big Nasty.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. And yeah, Mike, just like Mike just went off on his like where he's been.
His
That
accolades.
that's a big that's a good basketball mind. Um, I've always said this. I never like a star player in the NBA is never going to be like a good coach, and because you're a star, you know what I mean. Like you're the star, you're the man, you're catered to. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. The best coaches have been like role players, like Steve Kerr, you know what I mean, guys like that, who have been role players in the NBA. I mean, hell, Phil Jackson was a role player with the Knicks, right? So to me, this guy just oozes basketball IQ, been around, seen different organizations. You know, I'm excited about this guy coming in. I really am. Like I said, I think this is a big step towards you're moving away. And again, I love Pop. I love Pop, but
Right.
and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way. I'm just saying you're moving away from the regime of it's Pop, and this is the way this is out of left field. No one,
Yeah.
all these sources, and we'll get to that later, right? People talking about sources. I did not hear nobody talking about this guy coming in and being the assistant coach until national media put it out. So this is how the Spurs operate. Real
Yeah.
G's moving silence like lasagna. So no one was talking about this. So this is what's also funny. Sources, and I'm an insider and I know things. No one said anything about this dude coming to be an assistant coach until national media put it out. Stein, I think. But I think this is a great move, Mike.
Look at this, Rick. Look at what somebody said here. Sam Salinas. Mitch hired his replacement.
What do you say, Mike? You're hired as a head coach to get fired, right?
You're hired to get fired, man.
Yeah. Nah, man.
So,
I think this is a good move.
Let's give some love to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5. When we come back on the other side of the commercial, we're going to talk about all those rumors about the Spurs potentially moving back. Do you buy any of this, or is this all just complete BS? Give some love to Locked On Spurs, Jeff Garcia.
Locked On Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast, hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on Threads at Jeff G Ken's 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow not only on Threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/@LockedOnSpurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share.
That's right. I subscribe on Spotify myself. That's how I listen. I'm oftentimes on the show. So is Joe. He does a fantastic job, and more than 7,500 subscribers. Lots of articles at Jeff G Spurs Zone and Kens5.com. One of the stories, which is also on Kens5.com, is that Victor Wembanyama is set to appear on Kevin Hart's show during Fanatics Fest 2025. Interesting.
Yeah, and they're also talking about the Spurs and, reportedly 76ers and other teams that have been calling them interested in that number 2 pick. It seems like the chatter is, Jeff had retweeted this also, the Pelicans calling the Spurs for that number 2 pick and asking what it would take.
Yeah, so this is the dumb part of it all. Of course, teams are going to kick the tires on the Spurs,
Of course,
and ask to see if the number 2 is available. We know, we've seen every single mock draft. Doesn't matter if it's SI, doesn't matter if it's ESPN, FS1, whatever 4 or 3-letter combination there is. Every single one has Cooper Flag going number 1. Every other one has Dylan Harper going number 2. Dylan Harper would have been the number 1 draft pick last year by all teams. He would have been the number 1 draft pick 5 out of the last 10 years. He's a very, very talented player out of Rutgers. I know a lot of people are there saying, well, Rutgers didn't make the tournament. Who cares? We're not drafting the team. We're drafting a player from that team. That being said, of course, Philadelphia is going to kick the tires. Of course, New Orleans is going to kick the tires. But do the Spurs really want to drop back to 4? Do the Spurs really want to drop back to 8? The whole point of getting these picks is what? These lottery picks is to what? Is to win the lottery.
yeah.
The idea that the Spurs are going to not take Dylan Harper to me is ridiculous. There's only one player that I would flip Dylan Harper for, and that would be Giannis, and I wouldn't want to do it, but I would understand it if it happened. But you don't flip Dylan Harper for KD for 1 or 2 years. You don't flip him for another fringe all-star. You flip him for a Giannis. At that point, just be aware that this is going to happen. Dylan Harper's part of this team. And what's so funny about all this, Spurnandez, is that Spurs fans right now are talking themselves out of Dylan Harper. They're talking themselves out of a player who is better than Stephon Castle was when Castle got out of college. Castle may have won the national championship, right? Castle was a sixth man on that team, and he's a fantastic player, and he's going to be a big, big player on this team for many, many years to come.
Man, you better slow down there, Mike. Mike,
excited.
You're throbbing.
Dude, I don't understand. Why aren't Spurs fans excited that Dylan Harper? We should do when the lottery happened. And it was like, oh my God, we made our way to the top 4, and we're not 4, we're not 3. And when we got down to 4, I thought to myself, okay, we're either going to get who? Cooper Flagg, Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey, or VJ Edgecombe, or maybe Trey Johnson, right? Then the number 4 pick came, and it wasn't us. Then the 3 pick came, and it wasn't us. And then finally they showed that the Spurs got the number 2 pick. And I was like, we got Dylan Harper. I was so effing ecstatic, man. I was so pumped up that we're getting Dylan Harper because I'm looking around going, Dylan Harper, you do realize that he has better stats. He was a better athlete. He was a better overall player than Castle was. And can you imagine that? We got a guy just as good, if not better than Castle, and we're going to get him in this year's draft. And Spurs fans, instead of going, hey, man, high five, isn't that great? Are they going, but we got Castle. Nobody can take him away. He's going to be a future all-star. We got Castle. Shut the hell up. It's about talent. It's an arms race. And this is a weapon in the arms race. Castle is a weapon. Harper is a weapon. And by me saying that Harper might actually have a higher ceiling than Castle, and we know Castle's ceiling is pretty high, it's not a diss on Castle. It's letting you MFers know that Harper's that good. He is that good. And I don't understand why Spurs fans are in their feels about Sohan, about Castle, when we're looking at the number 2 pick in the draft that is consensus. Every single mock draft has Harper going number 2. Why? Because he's that damn good. And if Cooper Flagg wasn't there, he'd be number 1. If Cooper Flagg, if he was in the draft last year, it wouldn't have been Reece Archie, it would have been Harper. Why are Spurs fans, Spurnandez, talking themselves out of Dylan Harper? They sound like complete idiots.
Hey, real quick, Mike, that rant that you went on, you scaring all the listeners and stuff.
you need a throbbing alert when Mike starts to go off like that. You need a throbbing alert, Joe. So first of all, shout out to my boy Tito, who's a new subscriber and he's listening, or he's not a new subscriber, but he doesn't get on much. So shout out to my boy Tito. He just got on the chat. So man, there's a lot to unpack there. I don't know why there's like these self-loathing Spurs fans or these like self-loathing San Antonio people who like hate everything about San Antonio or hate everything about the Spurs or hate everything about the front office, but you're a Spurs fan. And I think I got accused in the past of like trying to police who's real fans and who's not or whatever. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm really not, bro. Like at the end of the day, everybody can fan however they want to fan. Like I'm not going to tell somebody how to fan, but I just don't understand, kind of like what Mike is saying. If you hate something so much, like, why are you a fan of it or why do you like it? I don't, if you find every flaw in something, why are you still a fan? Like if I had a girlfriend or a wife where I hate everything about them and I complain about them and everything they do sucks and everything they do is garbage, blah, blah, blah. Well, why am I with them? I don't get that. But, the like you said, the Harper thing, right? He basically is a first round. He's a number 1 draft pick. I mean, basically, for all intents and purposes, without Cooper Flagg, he'd be the number 1 pick. It's like 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 it's like a guy that's like chasing after like this girl that's hot or whatever, and like the chase is fun, it's awesome. And then when
The
you
thrill
get her,
of
you're
the
like,
hunt.
eh,
The thrill of the
yeah,
hunt.
and then when you get her, you're like, you know what I mean? Like they want the hunt and the chase more, I guess, But I actually agree with Mike. Maybe not as throbbing as Mike is throbbing, but but it's yeah, man. Like Harper and here's the thing. There is no guarantees in life. This is what I also hate, and I talk about this a lot, and I've said it on this show. I never want to talk in absolutes, and what I mean by that is like there is no guarantee. There's no guarantee that a fucking meteor doesn't crash right now into San Diego and I die. Like there's people say things like Harper, is guaranteed that he's going to be an all-star and whatever. It's not guaranteed. Now, people also say it's guaranteed that the Spurs are never going to like trade for a big star and blah blah. No, it's not like things aren't guaranteed like that. Things are ever flowing. You know what I mean? So for your money's worth in Vegas, Harper seems to gonna be a guy that's gonna pan out to be a star. He does. I mean, he has the tools, he has the size as a guard, he has the pedigree and his father. I mean, all signs point, Mike's a finance guy, right? Mike knows money. He knows the finance. He's a very smart finance guy, and I know we'll plug him later. But it's about calculated risk, right? You take risks, right? You say to yourself, is the risk worth the reward? Is it not? And things like that. I do that in the Marine Corps. Hey, is the risk worth storming that hill? Am I going to die or am I not? What are the probabilities? So the probability that Harper pans out is pretty high. So.
Yeah.
Like you said, when we got the number 2 pick, I was ecstatic too. I was excited. I was happy. Most Spurs fans seem to be happy, but it's almost like we just can't have anything. It's like we can't have anything nice. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like the fans started to like, oh, I don't want Harper because of Castle and this and that. And like you said, it's not a knock on Castle. I love Castle. Castle's my guy. I think Tavares says it in the chat. I think all 3 guards can coincide. I do. I think you can run a set with Fox, Castle, and Harper. You can run a set with them. I don't think it's an issue. It's a positionless game nowadays. Even if somebody comes off the bench, there's a way to make it work. But to want to give away the number 2 pick is ridiculous.
We got an
really
super chat that we got to address here, Mike, real quick.
Money talk. Here comes the money.
Thank you so much, Sam Salinas. We do appreciate you, like always, man. We appreciate the support. He says, why are we even talking about us moving number 2? He goes, when the reclusive regime, the North Korean, the NBA Spurs, he goes, haven't communicated shit to anyone. He's saying that it's just hearsay at this point.
Mm-hmm. Let's go over Dylan Harper's stats, shall we? He played 29 games for Rutgers, started 28 of them. He averaged 19.4 points per game, 4.6 rebounds, and 4 assists. So he was almost a 25-5 guy, right? Kind of like DeMar DeRozan stats. He shot 48% from the field, 48.4, 33.3% from 3. Is that good? No. Is it bad? No. Which is a great starting point. If 33.3%, that's higher than Wemby, that's higher than Sohan, that's higher than Castle. He went off and shot 75% from the free throw line, averaged 1.4 steals per game, averaged a little bit more than half a block per game, all-around good player, 6'5" without his shoes. That's according to the Combine. He's a good player. Tavarius on our chat says the problem is that Spurs fans are not excited because of the position. That if he was a small forward or a center or a power forward, we would, or a big of any sort, we'd be excited about it because it kind of fits what we are already doing.
And that's understandable. It's understandable.
That's the whole point of it all. Is that it's just like, because I mean, the Spurs aren't in the position to look at it and draft Ace Bailey or Konka Nipple because they think
they're not in the position to draft position. They're not in the position to draft for position.
Right. That's exactly it.
If they were like in the playoffs and the Western Conference Finals and they were like one tweak away, then we'd say that, right? we'd say, yeah, draft for position. They're so away. They're so far away from that you have to have. You got to have talent. You got to have talent. And people are saying it in the chat. You make it work. You make it fit. I think Castle can play three. I mean, I think he could play the three. I think he could defend threes. Small forward is when I say three. So I think Castle can do that. I love Castle, man. Castle just had the rookie of the year. I'm not throwing shade, but it was a weak rookie year draft, right? Was it? I mean, it kind of was. Somebody's got to win it. I'm not throwing shade. I'm just saying, though, let's be honest. It wasn't like this crazy, like, oh, who's going to be the rookie of the year? Dylan Harper, and I'm not saying this as a guarantee because I don't speak in absolutes. Yeah. He seems to be the kind of player that will have a better rookie year than Stephon Castle.
Yeah,
and that doesn't mean he'll win rookie of the year.
I'm just saying that, yeah.
That doesn't mean he'll be rookie of the year.
Yeah, I don't mean he's going to win rookie of the year. Just because you win rookie of the year doesn't mean you were the best. I mean, I don't know if this makes sense, Mike. Tell me. Just because you win rookie of the year doesn't mean you're the best rookie that year, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, you had the best year. It doesn't mean you're the best player, if that makes sense,
Comparing them is different.
Shade on Castle. Yeah, I love Castle, but I think Harper, from what I've seen so far, has the potential to have a better year than Castle, and he may not win rookie of the year.
I think how smooth he is getting up and down the court. He glides. And it's funny because I love Stephon Castle, one of my favorite players on this team. Probably is my favorite player on this team.
You were all about him. You were all about him before the draft last year. I mean, you were the one.
Loved him.
Yeah,
months beforehand, I was like, dude, this is the guy I would want on this team.
Yeah.
So I love Castle's play. When I see Castle and Harper out there, I picture it like a pitcher who could throw a splitter, fastball, 98 miles an hour, and then someone who throws the off-speed pitch.
Yeah.
Because you see Castle can rock the rim. Castle can attack the basket and dunk it. We saw that, could have won the slam dunk competition, right?
Yeah.
But the way that he moves in a herky-jerky kind of way, Manu-ish. Mm-hmm. You don't know if he's coming at you full speed. You don't know if he's going to slow down.
He's a southpaw.
Yeah. It's different, man. It's different. And I love watching Harper play. I love watching him glide. I just think that I think Harper is super talented. And the player comparisons. Do you believe in the player comparisons?
I think it's a gauge. It's a gauge.
So the comparisons that I'm looking at The Athletic right now of what they have as Dylan Harper, a hybrid of Cade Cunningham, James Harden, and SGA.
Sheesh. It's hard to turn that down, man. It's hard to turn that down because of the position. It really is, man. I do think he's Cade Cunningham-esque. So,
Hey, I just wanted to show the results real quick from the poll so we can kind of move on from the poll because I want to create a new one for everybody here in the chat. So the results here, we're asking, who is going to win tonight? Do you all got the OKC or do you have the Pacers? 73% say the Pacers are going to win tonight. And we had 44 votes and we have 56 people in the chat. So it was pretty good turnout here for the voting from the fans. So thank you so much. I'm going to end the poll. I'm going to start a new one. We're going to go ahead and base it on what you guys are discussing right now. And the title for this one, I'm going to ask the question: can Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper coexist on this Spurs team? We're going to go ahead and start that poll right now for everybody in the chat. And there you go.
Very nice. Very nice. Hey, let's talk about the NBA Finals on the other side. Game 4 tonight between the Indiana Pacers and Oklahoma City Thunder. But before we get to that, let's talk about MCS General Contracting and their Diamond Hard Concrete.
MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business, honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, Reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leja over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show.
That's right. Doesn't matter if it's residential, government, or business, they can do it for you. Get that slab going, concrete slab, concrete patio extensions, sidewalks, basketball courts, pickleball courts. They do it all. 210-774-9155. 210-774-9155. You can go to Chris Leja's Twitter account, and you can see the videos that he posts of all the work that they
General
do.
Contracting.
Yeah, MCS General Contracting side as well. They power the chat. They've been with us since day one. They do a fantastic job. I have hired them myself. They did an amazing job at my house. I have their Yeti. I have two of them, actually. And the Yeti says hashtag Diamond Hard. Chica took it out of the dishwasher and was like, Diamond Hard, huh? And I was like, yeah.
That's what she said.
Hey, you know what? I was going to go ahead and share some videos. One of our listeners here had made a request, and they said if I could go ahead and find the video of Dylan Harper working out here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on there so y'all can go ahead and check this out, because they just wanted to kind of showcase his talents, so to speak. So I'm going to go ahead and show that. You all tell me what you all think. And it's probably a video that you've already seen circulating, but we're going to share it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, this is in the context of being in a controlled environment, but nonetheless, it still looks impressive.
Yeah.
He's a lefty. He's a lefty.
Yeah. Yeah. But going back to Mike, you're
go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, you're going back to the NBA Finals, man. It's crucial tonight. It's crucial. It's a big deal, man. 3-1, 2-2 is a huge swing.
I wonder what Vegas has for this, by the way, because Vegas has been wrong all three games when it comes to the spreads. Is this going to be the first time we're going to see Indiana favored? Because Oklahoma City has been favored in the first three games, and I'm taking a look at the odds now.
I mean, why not?
Vegas has Oklahoma City winning big.
Really?
They increased the odds. It was 5.5 points for the last game. It's now 6.5 points.
They're increasing after every time they lose. Like, they're literally increasing after every time they lose. Yeah.
Tip off at 7:30. It's been fun to watch, man. Halliburton, who before the playoffs was named the most overrated player by his fellow NBA players.
Yeah.
More than 90 people anonymously took part in a poll by the New York Times and The Athletic, where they named the most overrated player, and it was Tyrese Halliburton. Guess who it was last year? It was Tyrese Halliburton. And for him to go out there and be 2 wins away from an NBA championship and potentially a Finals MVP would be the biggest FU ever given in recent memory by an NBA player. Fantastic.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if OKC comes out and wins tonight. But go ahead, Joe.
I was going to say, did you all hear that one little excerpt? There was like a little interview they did with Commissioner Adam Silver. And they were talking about the NBA Finals, and they were saying, why don't you all bring back the NBA trophies, that they had on the court? There were big stickers, decals they used to have out there on the court from years ago. And Adam Silver's response to that whole thing was, we haven't put those things out in over 10 years. And he says because players were complaining about how slippery those logos were and that they were afraid they were going to get hurt. So now they kind of put them in, as virtual trophies now on the court. It's just a virtual image, kind of for the safety of the player. That's kind of wild, man, to think that people were running on those, athletes were running on those stickers, and they're big and they're slippery.
you know what though? Like, and I do get it, because I do love those. We all remember those when the Spurs were in the finals against the Pistons.
Yeah,
all that. You had that championship logo, right?
Larry O'Brien,
the Larry O'Brien, the tip off, the iconic pictures and all that. And I do love that stuff. I get it. What I find funny though is like, what are people complaining about that, dude? Like why are people like watching the game and are like, how come this isn't on the court? How come, like, that just shows to me, like, bro, like, people will complain about anything, dog. Like you could you could
For
have
anything.
10, you could die and go to heaven with 10 virgins and still complain. I don't know, man. I'm just, for me, dog, like I watch a game and I'm watching the game. I just don't have enough energy to be like, well, how come the court isn't this way? And how come the production isn't this way? Like, but that's what, especially Spurs fans, that's what people do, man. Like, I don't know, man. I think we've come to this society where if you're not complaining, then you're not like, then you don't care. You know what I mean? Like that. That's kind of, I guess, how people feel. And I've seen Spurs fans say that, right? The ones that are funny to me are they're like, I complain because I'm holding the team accountable, and like I'm a real fan because I'm complaining about the team. Okay,
You know what's
what do
funny
you
to
mean
me?
holding them accountable? Like nobody's listening to you. Like the team isn't listening to you. So like,
You don't.
I don't know, man. I just don't like if I watch a movie, I could watch like a Pauly Shore movie, right? Mike would appreciate this. A Pauly Shore movie has no meaning. It's just a joke. It's just fun. But if I watch a Pauly Shore movie and I'm worried about like what's the message that they're sending me? Like, why aren't they being deep? Like, you know what I mean? Like why am I watching this? I just think like that's just the epitome of like wanting to complain if the because you're watching an amazing basketball game, an amazing game between Pacers and the Thunder are giving their all, are blood, sweat, and tears, and you're complaining that there's not a logo on the court. I don't know, man. I mean,
You know what's funny
I
to
don't
me,
know.
Rick and Mike? This is what I'm going to tell you guys. Spurs fan, diehard Spurs fan. They refuse to watch the finals because the Spurs aren't in it. I get it. They don't have a dog in the fight. I love watching the NBA in general. I'm a Spurs fan, yes, first and foremost, but I love the game. I love watching good teams go at it. And I've been watching the finals, I've been watching the playoffs, and I got to say, you're being treated as something special here. I think this is history in the making. I think that the Pacers are a team of destiny. And if you're not going to watch just because, oh, I'm a diehard Spurs fan, the Spurs aren't in it, that's dumb, dude.
The last team of destiny in the NBA Finals, in my opinion, the Toronto Raptors, when Kawhi Leonard was going off. When Kawhi Leonard made that shot against the Philadelphia 76ers, that
That little bounce around.
little bounce around.
Yeah.
That was the team of destiny type of thing, and you kind of felt that was just going to go their way. I didn't think Indiana had the firepower to do it. I still don't think they have the firepower to do it.
They do seem though like the team of destiny, though.
They
They
do.
seem like a team of destiny. They do.
They do.
I'm not saying they're gonna win. I don't know. I'm just saying they seem like it. Like,
But it would be great. Okay, I'm gonna tell you why it would be great for Indiana to win. It gives hope to small market teams.
first ever championship for them.
Yeah.
It gives hope to, hey, you don't have to be a 1, 2, or 3 seed necessarily. You can be a team that gets in there and just gets hot. We see this in March Madness, right? A team that makes its way in, barely gets to the 20 wins.
Yeah,
but
you're a
they
heater.
get
You're on a
hot.
heater. You're on a
They
heater.
get,
Yeah.
and that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
I was out in Laughlin, Nevada last week, right? I was on a heater, dude. I was winning slot after slot. Well, I was at a blackjack table, Spurnandez, where
Yeah.
the dealer, it was the first time ever in my entire life, the dealer could not bust. Busted every single hand, just bust. Everybody at the table was just getting richer and richer and richer and richer. And I was there pissed off that I was only doing $20, $25 bets because I should have been doing $100 bets when I knew that dealer couldn't do anything. It was amazing. But going back to the finals, you see players like TJ McConnell step up.
I like that.
Ben Mathurin.
Small. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
are
but
the
this-
heart and
this-
soul of that team.
Right. But see, this goes back to, like the Spurs, right? Sohan and different players, role players, Keldon, where was CJ a couple of years ago? Where was Ben a couple of years ago? Like those Siakam, like those players have been written off from other teams. Like
Obi
those players
Toppin.
were, exactly. They were, so I just like, you got to give these guys some time. I know people don't want to hear that. I know people don't want to hear like just, give them time, be patient, but you do, like these dudes are 20 years old, 21 years old. Like it's crazy to write somebody. I mean, if somebody wrote me off at 20 years old, 21, then goddamn, yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad nobody judges me from my 21-year-old self. Put it that way. Like, I'm glad that that's not what people define me as when I'm 21, 22 years old, because that's just crazy, man. And like, I try to bring this back to us normal people. Again, when we were 21, 20, 21 years old, whatever way we were doing, if you define me as a man at that age, then I'd be cooked. I shit, I ain't shit at 21, 22. So it's just difficult, man, to like judge a guy that's 22, 21 years old. I got it. Sohan maybe not have the right mechanics or this, that, and the third. Does it mean he can improve? He can. Will he? I don't know. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, to say that something's a foregone conclusion that you're 21, you suck right now, you're garbage. That's not the case, because you could see again, the Indiana Pacers are full of guys that were written off by other players or fans. We're done with them.
Let me ask you
You
this:
know?
Is Rick Carlisle, head coach of the Indiana Pacers, is he a Hall of Famer? We didn't realize it this entire time. This is the third franchise he has taken to the NBA Finals. He took the Pistons. He took the Mavericks. Now he's taking the Pacers. He's won one title. He also won an NBA championship as a player. Have we been sleeping on Rick Carlisle this entire time?
Well,
I think so.
this is like the Fresh Prince. We. Yeah,
Oh,
we.
come on,
you know,
when I say
yeah. No,
we,
no,
I'm
no.
talking
No, I
about
know what you mean.
society in
I know.
general.
I know.
He's
No, I
he's
know
a
what
good
you're saying.
coach.
I know what you mean. I'm just messing with you, Mike. He is a good coach. He was. I mean, that first Dirk Dallas championship, and I'm not a Dallas guy, but I can appreciate that. I can appreciate Dirk and Dallas winning their first championship. That was a big deal. Rick was
Right.
there. I think that, I mean, again, going back, he was a Boston role player. This is what I said earlier about good good to great coaches are generally role players, not stars. He was a role player on those Boston teams back in the day. Rick Carlisle was, right? So he won championship as a player, as a bench guy in Boston. So he learned, saw all those different amazing coaches and amazing teams in Boston. I think Rick Carlisle should be mentioned with Pop, Spo, in this generation. I'm not going back to like Red Auerbach and those guys. I'm
Yeah,
talking about this era, this like generation of coaches. You can't deny Rick Carlisle. And if people are talking about in the chat that he's a Jim Carrey lookalike, he is.
Yes.
But yeah, man, Rick Carlisle is a very, very good coach. He's amazing. I think he's a Hall of Famer.
They're fact checking you here, Mike.
Well, no, I never said he won it. I said he'd been to the finals twice. He
Right.
lost it with the
He
Pistons.
won with Dallas.
He won it
and
with the
was
Mavericks.
Yeah.
No, I had it straight.
Yeah, you did.
But I'm looking at basketballreference.com. Rick Carlisle has the 11th most wins by a head coach in NBA history with 993. Next year will become the 12th player, or the 11th coach rather, in NBA history with 1,000 wins. The coach is ahead of him. The next one he'll catch is Rick Adelman. After that, it's Larry Brown, Phil Jackson, Doc Rivers, George Karl, Pat Riley, Jerry Sloan, Lenny Wilkins, Don Nelson, and then number one right now is Greg Popovich. The only head coach right now that's in the top 20 that's active, by the way, there's three that are active. Doc Rivers, God, he sucks. If he makes it as a Hall of Famer, I'm going to be pissed. Eric Spoelstra is number 17 all-time in coaching wins. And then you've got Rick Carlisle. Yeah, I think Carlisle, this is his Hall of Fame moment.
Oh,
right?
if he wins, if they win here, man, that's gonna push him into the stratosphere, man. It really is. I think he's already
he's borderline right now. He's borderline.
This is a good comment from Mario Cavazos. He says, Rick Carlisle, the modern day Larry Brown.
It's a good way of putting it.
That is a very good way of putting it. Yeah.
It's not sexy, but he gets the job done.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's not like a yeller. He's not out there like being crazy. He's just even keel, getting the job done, man. And like you said, it's not sexy. It's not controversial. He doesn't have all these sound bites, but he's just getting the job done, man. And at the end of the day, that might be what you need.
The best two coaches I think in the NBA that are good at adjustments, Rick Carlisle and Coach Spo. No, that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I think they can make great adjustments, especially like Rick Carlisle, and you see what he's been able to do. And sometimes in the NBA playoffs with the Pacers and even going into the finals, it's been the tale of two halves. The first half, they might stink it up, but they come out that second half, he's made some adjustments, and lo and behold, he gets them close enough just to be within that striking distance, and then Hallie goes off and does his thing, and they find a way to win,
Yeah. And we got Jonathan C., who I appreciate on the chat, but I like these guys who always try to have these gotcha moments. You know what I mean? He keeps saying things over and over. Like he said, Rick didn't win a chip with Detroit. He didn't say that, but he's saying like y'all talking about Rick like he was an asset to the championship. Man, barely broke a sweat on the court. I just said that. Like Jonathan C., like I just said the best coaches are role players on the bench who don't even, who are might not be stars, don't do anything.
Yeah.
Like I just said that. That's what I'm saying. Like you be like a guy like Matt Bonner, like a guy like, there's guys on the bench who I'm not saying that they broke a sweat as a player and all that. I'm saying that them not breaking a sweat as a player makes them better coaches because they sat on the bench, they watched, they analyzed, they did what they did. So
case in
it's not a
point, Rick,
gotcha moment.
look
Exactly.
at this. Look at
Tiago Splitter. Yeah.
Tiago Splitter, former Spur Tiago Splitter, is going to become an assistant head coach of the Portland Trailblazers. Again, the guy wasn't out there really flashy. He was just a great role player, got things done, and look at what he's doing. He's moving on, becoming an assistant head coach. Maybe he'll be a head coach someday in the NBA. There you go.
People act like just because you don't play like minutes. Okay, first of all, you like what it takes to make the NBA. Like the sweat, the just the fucking work that you put in to make an NBA roster. Even if you're the last man on the bench that doesn't get any playing time, right? Do you know how good you got to be? Like, do you know how fucking good you got to be to just make the NBA and sit on the bench, for every single game?
Look at Mike.
Like, that's what's funny to me is like these guys in the chat are like, Julius Chape is going to be a great coach. And probably.
Cardio.
Probably.
Yeah,
Probably.
not an NBA coach.
Probably. Yeah.
He's going to teach you how to lose weight by doing cardio.
Yeah. No.
By the way,
but I'm saying.
We have some minor breaking news on the NBA. Russell Westbrook is going to become a free agent. He declined his player option.
Yeah.
He had a player option for $3.4 million to return to the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
He is declining that. Russell Westbrook, whether you like him or not, is Mr. Triple-Double is going to be a Hall of Famer at some point.
Yeah.
Averaged 13 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists this year. For his career, 21, 8, and 7. Goodness.
Yeah. Going back to the coach talk, JHNSB says Jason Kidd debunks this. There's an exception to every rule. Like there's a, like again, I love the got you moments that y'all are trying to have, but there's an exception to every rule. Like I'm not saying that this is like an absolute, but generally speaking, bench players end up being better coaches. Yes, Jason Kidd is a good coach and he was a star player. He's an anomaly. He's an exception to the rule, which does happen. I'm just saying, man, to get to the NBA, to be the last man on the bench who gets 0 minutes, you're a bad motherfucker. Like you were all high school, all college, all whatever, right? So you got to be bad to get there. So I'm just saying, man, like usually though, those guys that are on the bench that don't really get to play have a big basketball IQ.
Look at Mexican Junior. He says, who's the better foreign Spurs big? Fabrito or Berto? Tiago Splitter? Or the other one I'd like to throw into the mix, the one that everybody forgets, Rasho Nesterovic.
Yeah. The answer is Narco Paspai.
Oh,
if you know, you know.
Yeah.
Darko, brother was smoking cigarettes, man. Remember Luca with the tea? Darko was just lighting them up, bro.
Hey, what about Yamahimi? Yamahimi. Yeah.
Nazir Muhammad. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Nazir. Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to throw a Spurs name out there.
They're talking about Francisco Elson. That's another one. Yeah.
I know he wasn't international, but back in the 80s, Frank Brakowski was the man, dude.
Oh, he was the enforcer, man. He was a big bruiser out there, bro. That was his nickname, the Big Bruiser.
He was a brick. Yeah, he was a brick, man. Yeah.
I remember him throwing it down. They used to put him in the games just to go out there and foul the living shit out of some brother, man.
Hey, you're good for what? You're good for 6 fouls, right? Like, get in there, man. Shit. Yeah.
I remember he was a Seattle Supersonic at some point, and then he got into it with the Spurs. Him and the Spurs started going at it. It was a big fight on the court, man.
Yeah.
I'm watching Pat McAfee show. Shams Charania is on right now. I'm trying to see if he said anything interesting. But I had somebody ask the question on Twitter yesterday, do we all miss Woj? I miss that Woj. Because Woj versus Shams was a great battle. Shams against Mark Stein.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, Shams was. Well, I mean, eventually Shams took over. The student overtook the master, right? Because Shams was like a Woj's assistant at one time, right? So
what was that nickname they gave that guy, the Zang Bang, out on the X? Temu Shams. Or Temu Woj.
Oh my God. That's we didn't get to talk about all these sources and all these people who. We live in an age where everybody wants clout. Everybody wants online clout. Everybody wants to be like, I'm an insider. I know more than you. You know what? This is what I say. I'm not an insider, but I'm inside her. I mean that's me. That's a shout out to my girl Steph. I'm not an insider, but I'm inside her. So
he's not diamond hard, but he is rock hard. Anyway, let's show my number, Joe. Let's give the number to me.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
210-508-0369. If you want that diamond hard financial advice, 210-508-0369. Spurnandez, I now manage, as of this morning, $21.2 million in assets. That was zero about 3 years ago. So $21 million has come over the years, the last few years. Did a fantastic job doing that. I've got another $800,000 I'm working on this week. Going to make that $22 million when it's by the end of next week. If you have questions about retirement accounts, stocks, life insurance, disability, long-term care, life insurance is a big deal, man. It's a big, big deal. Get it done. And what a lot of people don't do is they don't know what they've got. So I explain things in proper English, right? I explain things in a basketball way, analogies, football analogies, whatever gets it in your head as to what you're doing. It's pretty cool, man. Do a good. I like doing what I do, man. 19 years in the business. It'll be 20 years in August.
Nice.
210-508-0369.
Hey, let's go ahead and show the poll. The poll results here, man. I'm gonna go ahead and show those on screen right now. So we asked the question here: can Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper coexist on the Spurs team? 87% of the fans here that have voted think so. 13% say no. So I think the overwhelming response is they can coexist on the team.
You know what? Doesn't matter if they can or can't. Whoever's the best one gets to stay. And it might not be Castle. Spurs at number 14. If the Spurs pick at 14, here's what they got to do. And we'll end this with this topic. They got to find Sohan's replacement at 14. Not to say that he's going to be replaced, but I will tell you this much about Sohan. As much as I give him crap about one-handed free throws and all that stuff, the biggest complaint I have about Sohan is that he is not available at all times. He misses a lot of time because of injuries. If we have another season where Sohan only plays 55 games, done. I don't care how good you are defensively. If you're missing a third of the season and you're basically a mini version of Kawhi, you shouldn't be 21, 22 years old and miss 100 games in your first 4 years of your contract. Gone. Spurnandez, would you sour on Sohan if he misses another 28 games this year?
I mean, I want you on the court. Like, I don't care who you are. You got to be on the court, right? If you're not on the court, then you're not valuable to anybody if you're not on the court. I think Sohan is going to have a good year this year. I think he's going to have a pretty, maybe, I don't know, breakout year is probably a little much, but I think Sohan's going to have, I mean, it's a contract year, right? It's a
Look at
contract
Jay
here.
Dennis B
So
saying, man, he says Sohan is the most elite defender in the league, according to the fans, though.
I mean, he is a defender, man. He's a defender. I mean, he's tried. He's done what was asked of him. Here's the thing, man. And I know Mike was very critical about the Sohan at point guard experiment. He did what was asked of him. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't his idea. You know what I mean? Like he did what was asked of him. So there's something to be said about that. Somebody could have been like, "No, I'm not doing that." So he did what was asked of him. He tried. He's a company guy, quote unquote, if you want to say. He's a team guy. You might not like to hear that, but I don't know. You know, and I know he does stuff for the community, and people don't give a fuck. People are like, "Oh, I don't care what he does." I mean, I don't know, man. There's a lot to it other than just, "Hey, are you a good NBA player or not?" I think he's ingrained himself with the community and with the fans. And I'm not I'm not Matt Lerma, who's like, what do you say? I
I'm
love you
still
so,
here,
hand,
Sohan.
Poppy. I'm still here. Yeah, I'm not saying like just because he colors his hair, we need to keep him. I'm not saying that. He's
Oh,
got
that's
to
what everyone
produce.
says, though. You know,
No,
he's
he's
a
got
face
Look
no,
at
he's
of
got to
Matt, Mike,
character.
produce. No,
Mike,
no,
your
he's got to
catchphrase.
produce.
The alien and the clown.
No, he's got to produce. He's got to produce, and he has some skill and talent that he's got to produce. Man, this is going to be a big year for Zohan. I think this is going to be the make or break year. If
You're,
he,
you're
what's up?
forgetting one important thing, though, Rick. You know what Sohan's name's going to be after this season? Gone. He's going to be
We
gone.
shall see. We shall see. We
Gone.
shall see, man.
Just get
We shall
Asa
see.
Newell, and he's there.
Yeah.
He's basically Sohan.
He's out of here. Dude.
The 14th pick is very intriguing. You know, that's why I love KD and I would love to have KD in his scoring, but giving up that 14th pick, man, like I don't know, man. This is a deep draft. I think you could get like a guy like Asa Noel or Carter Bryant or different folks who maybe can be Sohan's replacement, you know? I don't know.
Very nice.
That 14th pick is a lot more valuable than we think.
That is Spurnandez. That is Joe Garcia. My name is Mike Jimenez. Everyone enjoy the weekend. Have a happy Father's Day. I'm going to be heading to San Antonio on Saturday, tomorrow, and I'll be there for a couple of days, hanging out with my dad and all that stuff, hanging out with my daughters and whatnot. Joe, happy Father's Day. Do you have any Father's Day wishes? Happy Father's Day to my dad, by the way.
Yeah.
Do y'all have any Father's Day wishes you'd like to let out?
I'm going to say happy Father's Day to my dad, you know, and I'm also going to give a big shout out to my mom because my mom and dad, they divorced when I was young, and my mom was a single mother, and she had to hold it down, man, for doing everything for us, for keeping, you know, food on the table, the lights on, you know, inside the house and everything else. So shout out to all the single moms that have to do both roles. We appreciate all y'all and all the hard work y'all put out there, man. But shout out to my parents, man.
Yeah.
I was a single dad. No one wished me happy Mother's Day, man. So
you know what?
I don't know. I had custody of my daughter for 3 years.
Yeah. You know what? You know what? We don't have time to get into this, but I'm not a fan of the like happy father, like the mothers are single, and I'm not a fan of that.
I'm not either, dude.
Father's Day comes around, it's like shout out to the single mothers who hold down birds. Like,
hey, man, I'm just keeping it real.
No.
I'm keeping it real.
Jojo, I'm not. No disrespect to you. I'm just saying in general,
Yeah.
like I'm not a fan of that because I see that all the time.
You know
right?
what's funny? Let's put it like this, Rick.
Shout out to hey, you should have picked a better baby daddy. Like I don't know why you picked him. You picked him. Like I don't understand why you're tripping. Like these girls are like going off of how much of a piece of shit their baby daddy is. Blah blah blah. You picked him. You open your legs for him. Like I don't understand. Like you know.
This is the thing that my daughter gets mad about, right? Because the ladies, I agree with you in that regards. Oh, I'm holding it down and I'm doing this and that. Okay, man, I get that. I get that. You know, because my mom, she really did have to do multiple jobs just to keep us fed and all that. I appreciate that, you know, but she wasn't like, hey, I'm both roles and no, she's just low-key, just doing what she got to do. But the funny thing is that when you go out there and you see all the women right on Father's Day and they're out there, oh, I'm holding it down, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, you know, I'm both roles, and I'm like, really? You're holding it down? They don't need a man. That's the one that gets me. I don't need a man. I don't need a man. Really?
Yeah.
Go change your tire. Go change that tire for me, man. You know? My daughter gets mad when I say that, bro, but I'm just speaking facts, bro. I don't need no man, but you know what? When you call roadside assistance, when you stranded on the side of the road, who's gonna come help you? A dude in a pickup truck. Say less.
Jonathan C
Bro.
says, meanwhile, she drops her kids off at her mom's and goes to Joe's
Exactly. I said, hey, during Fiesta, you know who the real heroes are? The grandmas during Fiesta. 2 weeks of babysitting. You know what I'm saying? All those single mothers are taking the babies to fucking grandma and are partying during Fiesta, baby. Hey,
that's the Fiesta Sucia.
Exactly.
Yes,
exactly. No,
what's the female version of throbbing? What are they doing?
Moist town.
Pulsating.
Boys? Yeah. Oh my God.
We went off the rails, bro.
Jonathan sees. I like Jonathan C's comment. He said she has a son named Aiden and drives an 03 Nissan.
Ultimate from the other way.
And she wears scrubs. Hey,
my girl wears scrubs. What's going on?
No. Scrubs drives the Nissan. My baby Aiden is my king.
Always the Nissan Altima, bro. Always.
Hey, bro. I'm just telling you, bro. It is what it is, dog. It is what it is. But
and somehow their kid has enough money to go to private school. Like where's that coming from?
Kids got Jordans. It's coming from OnlyFans, dog. It's coming from OnlyFans. That's where it's coming from. You know how they have career day? How the fuck are you gonna feel when you have career day and your mom brings a fucking tripod and a camera like for career day to show what she does? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro.
He's selling pictures of feet, bro. That's bro.
Hey, career
Spurnandez
day.
knows ball.
Hey, career day and your mom showing up with her OnlyFans page, you know?
Jeez, bro. No,
yeah.
Well, on that note, happy Father's Day, everybody. Have a safe weekend. If it look outside to see if it's going to rain or not. Okay, how about that? Everyone have a fantastic day, fantastic weekend. See you guys on Monday. Spurnandez, happy Father's Day. Joe,
appreciate
happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
And to all the single moms out there holding it down, you had your day last month.
Hey, exactly. You had your day last month. Fuck you.
In the Nissan Altima, bro.
In the Nissan Altima. Exactly. On E. You know what I'm saying? Nissan Altima's on E. The silver cap kid. Exactly. Hey, I love, I need a man. I need a man that's 6'3", that makes $100K a year, that's gonna take care of me and my 3 kids. Like, nah, bruh. Nah.
All right, man. You all have a good weekend. We're out. We'll see you boys on Monday. Peace.
Yeah.